Blackstone Audio presents My Husband's Sweethearts by Bridget Asher. For Davy, my sweetheart. Chapter 1. Don't try to define love unless you need a lesson in futility. Careening past airline counters toward the security check-in, I'm explaining love and its various forms of failure to Lindsay, my assistant. Amid the hive of travelers, retirees in Bermuda shorts, cats in carry-on boxes perforated with air holes, hassled corporate stiffs, I find myself in the middle of a grand oration on love with a liberal dose of rationalizations. I've fallen in love with lovable cheats. I've adored the wrong men for the wrong reasons. I'm culpable. I've suffered an unruly heart, and more than my share of prolonged bouts of poor judgment. I have lacked some basics in the area of control. For example, I had no control over the fact that I fell in love with Artie Shoreman, a man 18 years my senior. I had no control over the fact that I am still in love with him, even after I found out in one fell swoop that he had 3 affairs during our 4-year marriage. 2 were lovers he'd had before we got married, but had kept in touch with. Held on to, really, like parting gifts from his bachelorhood, living memorabilia. Artie didn't want to call these affairs because they were spur of the moment. They weren't premeditated. He trotted out terminology like fling and dalliance. The 3rd affair he called accidental. And I have no control over the fact that I am angry that Artie's gotten so sick, so deathbed-ish, in the midst of this, and that I blame him for his dramatic flair. I have no control over the compulsion I feel to go back home to him right now, bailing out of a speech on convoluted SEC regulations, because my mother has told me in a middle-of-the-night bad news phone call that his health is grave. I have no control over the fact that I'm still furious at Artie for being a cheat, just when one might possibly expect me to soften at least a little. I'm telling Lindsay how I left Artie shortly after I found out about the affairs, and how that was the right thing to do 6 months ago. I tell her how all 3 affairs were revealed at once, like some awful game show. Lindsay is petite. Her
Sample complete. Ready to continue?